Hi there, my name is Francois. I'm the practice correspondent for AccountingWEB. We're live at Accountex. I'm here with the founder and CEO of FreeAgent, Ed Molyneux. How's it going, Ed?
Really well, thanks, Francois. How are you?
Good. So, Ed, we've spoken a lot about what a modern cloud practice looks like. Yeah. What, in your opinion, does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah, it's interesting, actually. We're starting to see that model emerge much more in recent years. And I think for us, it's the difference between being reactive and being proactive. And the key element there is data and having access to sort of real-time or near real-time accounting data. We sometimes say internally that trying to run a business based on historical data is like trying to drive down the motorway looking through your rear-view mirror. It's kind of difficult and dangerous. So our practices, the ones that come on board with FreeAgent, are able to be much more proactive because they have the data in front of them to be able to really work with their clients in that more proactive way.
Yeah. It's something that we've started to see looking at the floor here and at Accountex. I mean, there's a quite a cloud practice race developing. I mean, what's your view on that?
Yeah, I think there are two things going on. One of them is that we see there's a bit of a race to the bottom, frankly, especially on price among some of the legacy providers. Perhaps they have a product that's less differentiated, more commoditized. And that's kind of, that's happening. I guess that's disappointing. But we see in some of the more forward-looking providers, and so I think about obviously FreeAgent, but also maybe Xero in that regard, in our different parts of the market. FreeAgent for smaller clients and Xero very much for larger clients. But for us, we're trying to position a much more of a sort of differentiated value proposition, and we're seeing there's no need to be competing on price, we're competing on value, and not so much spending a lot of money on making a big splash and trying to hoover up licenses. We're seeing a lot more inbound interest, especially as people start to think about, well, what does making tax digital mean for their clients? And so today we're announcing a deal with Danbro, one of our largest practices, where they're bringing on board 4,000 of their clients, which we think is the largest cloud accounting deal that's ever been done in the UK. It signals the start of a very significant shift, I think, towards the cloud that a lot of practices are starting to make.
And you mentioned that they're briefly making tax digital. Yeah. The specter that's going to fundamentally alter the way that we do taxation in this country. Yeah. What do you see FreeAgent's role being in that transition?
Well, interesting, I suppose for most of the practices that already work with us, I think it's going to be a real non-event. They already have all the data required to be able to make quarterly submissions of any kind. Many of them are doing it already with VAT. It's just, there is really sort of one click and it's done. So for those kind of customers, I don't think they're going to see any difference in the way that they operate. What's going to be interesting is to work out what is going to happen among the mass of relatively unsophisticated, really tiny businesses for whom Excel or even paper, is the standard accounting mechanism at the moment. And we're thinking very long and hard about what does that mean for us at FreeAgent. And I think it certainly will involve us building tools which really suit that part of the market much more. It's likely that they'll be free for some part of the market. That's something we're really interested in exploring with HMRC and working out whether we can make these tools as easy to use as they can be, building on some of the automation and tax submission capabilities that we've been developing over the last few years.
And I mean, in terms of the transition as a whole, it seems that you're broadly quite optimistic about it.
I am. I think it'll bring a lot of people into the cloud accounting market. Obviously, that feels like a good thing for us. But interestingly, I suppose we see it as being a real opportunity for accountants, because one of the things that really stands in the way of accountants delivering value to really tiny businesses is data. It's just very hard to pull together the data required for somebody to be able to have a conversation with a micro business about how last month went. And so as you bring more people into cloud accounting, I think it gives accountants more opportunity among a very large number of businesses, what we call sort of latent demand among micro businesses, to add really interesting value services on top, tax planning, coaching, business mentoring, that they just wouldn't have been able to do before. So I think we see it as very much an opportunity for us as a software provider, but also for accountancy practices across the UK as well.
That's great. Thank you very much, Ed.
Thanks very much.